What? Why would you massage a dead person? Scott did his research, and I'm not surprised. Generic control in the deck goes. We're back with some more FNAF videos. Today we have, I think, the science of FNAF. It's not necessarily a game theory video, but it is a FNAF video that was left in the game theorist playlist for FNAF, so apparently it is really important. It apparently talks about the whole, like, downloading a person or whatever, somehow, like, digitizing a person's soul or whatever. I'm not really sure. Last episode we learned what glitch trap is in the FNAF VR Help 1 in the game, which is absolutely terrifying. You can check my reaction to that. I'll leave it right up there. Also going to be linked down below in the description. Also going to be a place on my channel for all the other FNAF game theory videos or game theorist videos. So this is going to be about the science. Some of y'all said I could skip it. Some people said it's actually pretty cool and kind of important, or not really necessarily important for the theories, but it's just neat, I guess. So I'm excited to learn about this and learn about the actual science behind it, because I do find science a little bit fascinating, as there's people out there that deny that science exists. Cough cough, Tamara Hamlin situation. Those people are really, really dumb. But I do read all your comments, so I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope I can make it a tiny little bit better. And also shout out to the patrons. They can do videos daily. Live on the Paywall channel. I'll be live stream today at 5 p.m. playing some of my Pokemon White and Nuzlocke. We're in the final city where the 8th gym is, so that is exciting. But let's go to jump into FNAF was right. Ennard's bodysuit actually works. Oh boy. Google Drive. Google Docs.
Dear Scott Cawthon, why am I here? We all know my hatred
Barbecue
of your
just to
games.
suffer.
Not that they're not, like, cool. And in fact, I love the lore and the story so much that I obsessively read the wikis and watch Let's Plays, Matt's breakdowns on the lore. I love solving puzzles, but I hate visits to the hospital. And Lord Almighty, playing your games nearly gives me a heart attack every freaking time.
I only played the first game.
But I have an idea about this. Just hear me out. An anxious person's edition for every game you've ever made, where you have to solve all the exact same puzzles in the exact same way, but instead of like a jump scare as a lose condition, a gentle unicorn narrated by Morgan Freeman shows up and says, "Aw, shucks, pal, looks like you messed up. Would you like to give it another try?
That's a diddly darn shame.
I believe in you." Anyway, recently, while playing through the series again because I hate myself and never want to sleep again, I hit sister location, and something stood out as super strange to me, and now my sleepless nights have been spent poring over the weird implications of what may be one of the strangest endings to any video game ever, which is this. How on earth do you make a walking skin suit out of a human being? Get out of here, Buffalo Bill. Nobody asked your opinion.
What? What?
For those of you who don't know, the ending of Sister Location is pretty dark. There are two endings, the bad one and the other bad one.
Yeah, both of them are bad.
Which essentially end the same way. The main antagonist, Ennard,
Ennard Stark,
Ennard.
Lord of House Stark.
Sorry, Mr. Stark. Anyway, Ennard, a
Lord of Winterfell,
Warden of the North, containing the hive minds of Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Circus Baby, and Ballora, and I think that's all of them. Anyway, Ennard lures you into a not at all suspicious sounding room where they confess to you that this has all been a plot to escape captivity.
That's Ennard back there.
Baby's entertainment.
That is terrifying.
Their
the eyes.
Big plan revolves around using the scooper to scoop you out and then wear your body like a suit so they can escape without being recaptured. Brilliant
By who?
Plan.
Who recaptured them?
The other ending gives you a false sense of security, where you can avoid being lured to the scooping room and escape Ennard's clutches and, in theory, survive. However, Ennard follows you back home, and in a post-credits scene, you see that, hey, doesn't matter what you do.
I'm already exited the game.
Ennard has a skin sona, and they're gonna get their skin suit no matter what you have to say on the matter. And if
I have guns.
If this were all
I have 3 of them.
I'd just be like, gross, and then I'd move on. But that's not all I have to go on, because Scott Cawthon later released the custom night, which allowed you to play several more nights of Sister Location that were even harder. Thanks for that, pal.
Thanks.
The nights themselves are non-canon,
Why do they just
but when
keep
you
blocking
beat them, you're rewarded with a mini-game that is canon. In this mini-game, you watch Eggs Benedict, aka the player character, aka Michael Afton, walking down the street. It is a beautiful day outside. birds are singing, flowers
I haven't played
are
Undertale. I haven't,
on
though.
days like these, kids like you should be rotting. Oh my God, you're rotting. That's
while
so
walking.
Gross. In a series of 7 cutscenes, we see the body of Michael Afton getting progressively
more
discolored
decayed
and disfigured, all of which culminates in a final scene where this bloated and broken body staggers to a halt and vomits up the remains of Ennard into the sewer,
and then
which
gets
is
back
what
up.
ultimately reveals that the events of these cutscenes take place after the events of Sister Location, and in fact depict Ennard's control of Eggs Benedict's body. And it's these scenes that got my science brain all afire because they raise so many more questions than the answer.
So why is
Ennard still hiding in Egg's body when they've already escaped captivity? What sort of errands could Ennard possibly need to run? Do they wear the suit 24/7, or do they take it off when they get home and hang it up somewhere?
Look at the coat rack.
More important than all of this, how the hell does any of this work? How?
I don't know.
Needs to know how.
Well, wasn't Michael a robot or something?
I figured it out, and believe me, the answer to how a human skin suit puppet works is amazing, and it may, in fact, surprise you.
I hope it's not real. Please tell me it's not real.
The first thing I had to figure out was how big is Ennard, because you know, they've got to be squished inside this human being and working them like a puppet. So first we got to figure out how possible that even is, and unfortunately we don't.
I'm not sure how bones work in
how
this.
big Ennard is, because Ennard is an amalgam of like half a dozen animatronics, and we don't know how many parts are squished into their frame. That being said, we make a pretty close estimate using the canon blueprints of Circus Baby, Ballora, Funtime Foxy, and Funtime Freddy. All animatronics that are used to make Ennard. I averaged their heights and their weights to get a ballpark size and weight for Ennard.
It's gonna be tall.
Comes out to 6.325 feet, or just shy of 2 meters, and 393 pounds. Definitely taller than the average human male.
Yeah, a little bit.
This isn't necessarily a deal breaker.
Like,
from the final
almost
bonus cutscene,
3 times my weight.
Ennard seems to be capable of being like any shape, so maybe it's just kind of like squished in there. The bodies of the animatronics are constructed from galvanized wire rope, basically a bunch of wires twisted together to form a super wire cable. Using pixel measurements from Funtime Foxy, who is 5.9 feet tall, I determined the cables to have a diameter of about 23.5 millimeters, which would put it between 7/8 of an inch and a full inch. Galvanized wire of this thickness weighs 1.485 pounds per foot, meaning there should be 264 feet of cable to make up a single animatronic the size of Ennard. We'll cut this down to 250 feet or 76 meters to make up for any other moving parts or computational stuff. That's about 75% the length of a football field. And a density of 29.89 kilograms per cubic meter. This means the smallest shape that Ennard can squish themselves down to would be about 1.779 meters across, taking up an entire volume of 5.63 cubic meters. According to the military standards for human engineering design criteria from 1989, around the time the events of FNAF take place, an average human male torso only has an internal volume of 0.02878 cubic meters, meaning no matter how Ennard shapes themselves or squishes down, there's no way their entire body could fit into the chest cavity of
the chest.
Even more dramatically, the internal volume of the average male is only 0.06 cubic meters. Entire orders of magnitude smaller than the amount of space needed by Ennard. So there's no way that all of Ennard could fit inside of one man's body. Bam! Busted!
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so not really busted, because we have no reason to believe that this is what Ennard did. Ennard could have just as easily scrapped all the parts they didn't need in order to fit inside of Egg's body and operate it like Krang from the Ninja Turtles. After all, what's the point of having a whole mechanical body when you already have one made of flesh and blood?
I'm gonna do that after Half-Life. I'm almost done with Half-Life Opposing Force.
Is how
then we're doing Half-Life 2 and then
Ennard moving around
on Saturdays
in a dead body. I originally thought this was impossible, but after spending a week reading about the stages of death, I can say that, well, you'll see. let's go over the important parts first. When you die, all cell respiration comes to a halt. The cells responsible for pumping blood throughout your body and the heart seize up, and pallor mortis sets in, where all your blood stops moving around and drains from your capillaries. The cells of your muscles, unable to produce adenosine triphosphate, the molecular energy currency, due to a lack of oxygen, contract. With no ATP to signal relaxation, all of the muscles in the body stiffen entirely. This is what's called rigor mortis, literally stiffness of death. Under normal circumstances, the muscles don't unlock until the cells, unable to function properly, engage in autolysis. That is to say, they literally eat themselves alive. This loosens up all the muscles and allows the joints to move again. Neat.
So that's how that works. I never knew that. I've heard of rigor mortis.
Happens in about a day, and up until this point, the body looks mostly normal, maybe a little weird, but maybe a little weird, a little pale, maybe. Yet, and rigor mortis can be alleviated by massaging the muscles in question. And why
would you massage a dead person?
Because the more I looked into it, the more I realized that making and operating a human flesh puppet like Ennard does in Sister Location, it's totally plausible. Just like those dead frogs' legs can be compelled to contract by either introducing electricity and calcium ions to the sciatic nerve or sodium ions directly to the muscles, it would be totally plausible for a weird robot animatronic to manually operate the leg muscles of eggs. It would not be easy. Anyone who's played co-op
I beat that game.
Samuel can attest to the fact that manually operating body parts in synchrony is not simple, but
just like animating somebody walking.
Doable. Especially for a robot that's been more or less perfectly trained at manually manipulating robotic skeletons and balancing itself so it can walk and talk and interact with children. For the first few days, while there's still leftover ATP and the other ions available, it could theoretically be possible for Ennard to manually stimulate the femoral nerve with electricity in order to contract and relax the rectus femoris, gluteus, tibialis, and digitorum muscle groups in order to walk. After day 2 or 3, though, things get a bit more complicated. As autolysis progresses, bacteria that
what if he takes all the muscles out?
The immune system start to invade the body, and leftover ions and ATP run out of energy. Muscles and other organs would stop functioning even with electrical stimulation, because on a microscopic level, they no longer really resemble cells anymore. They're just broken masses of quickly gellifying organic material. Thankfully, at this point, rigor mortis is definitely gone. And if Ennard were to, say, install motors at the hip and kneecaps, they'd actually be able to walk more easily than before. But then there's the problem of putrefaction. The body is decomposing literally. Without refrigeration or embalming, the collapse of a human body is fast. Enzymes leaked from burst cells and organs combined with bacteria start to produce gases that will fill up every cavity and begin to bloat after 3 days, and the body turns green. After a week, the organs have decayed to the point where they're liquefied.
Were you just gonna science lesson?
Barely hanging onto the body, and it would turn from green to red. And why do I bring this up?
Yeah,
because literally, we see this happen in game. 7 cutscenes in a row.
So like a
week, progressively more mangled. It gets a worse color. Ennard starts to have a difficult time walking properly. People are frightened.
They're like,
at first, probably because of the smell and probably the bugs. He starts to turn literally green within the exact decomposition time frame forensic experts give for an unattended body. By day 6, he's turned red. Well, okay, no, he turned purple, but he's definitely changed color from green. He is nasty, and by day 7, he's barely holding himself together. Walking. And when Ennard leaves, Eggs' body collapses as though it was literally made of liquid. The point is,
but how does he back up, doesn't he?
Surprisingly, amazingly accurate for a hack
Scott did his research, and I'm not surprised.
Animatronic with no access to embalming materials or a walk-in refrigerator to delay decomposition. This is exactly what would happen at the exact same rate as it happens. It's actually less likely that Ennard ran away from Eggs' body, and rather that they literally couldn't keep the body together and walking anymore.
So that was a failed plan. So then maybe they tried to upload into a different form.
You are an animatronic yourself, looking going to
kind of like they did in VR, you know?
I recommend buying a giant
like
refrigerator that can keep bodies from decaying for maybe
that was a test run.
Also, remove all the internal organs. They're just going to accelerate the rotting process. And if you can get your hand on embalming fluid, you can probably use a body for several months. Learn from Ennard. Don't rush it. Preserve your Edgar suit, and it will last you ages.
Is that Men in Black?
Sincerely, Austin.
Texas. Been there. How to survive life on Mars. That's an interesting video right there. But yeah, last video was You Were Meant to Lose. FNAF Help Wanted. Terrifying game. Apparently that is one of the scariest FNAF games that they ever made. But yeah, next week we'll be back with Game Theory FNAF, the monster we missed, which is gonna be more Help Wanted. So that kind of brings up that theory. You know, it was failed. Like the body gave up. Like the skin suit failed on Ennard. So maybe Ennard was like a test run for, or maybe like an AI or something. Maybe he thought like he could put all of them together, like they were all like Infinity Stones, and Ennard was the Infinity Gauntlet to carry the vessel of his mind or his soul, so he could live on forever and be like Glitchtrap or whatever, and be like, and then that wouldn't work, obviously. And then maybe Glitchtrap was like the whole AI mind switching kind of soul snatching kind of deal going on. It's kind of like the next step in that, because Ennard was a failure. I don't know, it's just a theory. It might be wrong, could be right. I don't know. If I'm right, I'm gonna get very, very excited about that. But maybe we'll learn in future videos. I'm looking forward to the next one. Hope to see you there. Hope you're subscribed. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. It would really mean a lot if we could do that. A couple years ago, my entire channel was deleted. I had to start all the way back over. Never was told why my channel got deleted either. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it made your day better. But until the next video, take care and cue the music.
We were